Hello, friends. How are you all? I hope you're doing great and taking care of yourself. It has been around 1 month. I haven't uploaded any video on my YouTube channel. Since you can see on the screen, I was preparing myself for the HashiCorp Terraform Associate certification, and I am excited to share my journey of how to prepare for this certification, what all topics you need to focus, what all study materials you need to refer for preparing yourself for the Terraform Associate certification. So, with that said, I am excited to share my journey of this certification preparation with you all in this video, and I hope you are too excited. So with that said, let's get started. So friends, let's first understand for who all this certification is, and we will be also going through the exam objectives, and I will be sharing you about my experience of how many questions or what topics you need to focus so you are well prepared of answering those questions. So this certification is basically for the aspiring people who are aspire to work as a cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, or an site reliability engineer. This certification gets you familiar with the Terraform concept as well as the infrastructure as code concept. So let's first talk about the prerequisites of it. So prerequisite is pretty simple. You should be familiar with the basic fundamentals of Linux. How can you log into the Linux terminal or a Unix terminal? Then you should be familiar or have a basic understanding of on-premise versus the cloud architecture, be it an AWS, Azure, Oracle, Google, etc. Doesn't matters, but you should be familiar with this. Now, what is this exam? It's a multiple choice question exam, and there are 60 questions, and 80% is the passing for that. And the duration to attain those 60 questions is 1 hour. What is the validation of this certification? As you have seen on the screen, I cleared the exam on July 3rd, 2025, and it is valid until 2027 of July 3rd. Now, coming to the main objectives of exam, what topics this exam covers and what topics you need to focus on. So very first, get yourself familiar with the infrastructure as code concepts. I'm telling you, there were around 3 or 4 questions on infrastructure as code benefits, um, advantages over the configuration management. Okay, then focus on how you can install the Terraform, right? Where and understand the Terraform directory structure, right? So get yourself familiar with that. There were no questions on that, but I would recommend, if you are learning or preparing for this certification, then make your hands dirty, and that's what I have done. I have created a playlist of Terraform on my YouTube channel. I will paste that link in the video description. If you are interested, please go ahead and watch that. It will give you an idea of how to install VSS code, how to install the Terraform, whether we need to define the version of Terraform or not, right? Then there were around 2 questions on plugin based architecture. So make yourself comfortable in understanding this topic, which is plugin based architecture. Then there were some questions on Terraform providers. How can you define the version in Terraform providers? So make yourself familiar with that. Then definitely brush up your skills on Terraform import. Definitely, there were around 4 or 5 questions on Terraform import as well as Terraform state. There are different commands like Terraform state show, Terraform state RM, what it does. So get yourself familiar with that. Make yourself comfortable in understanding the Terraform modules. How can you basically interact with the different modules present on the Terraform module registrar? How can you access the variables of parent versus child, right? So if your child module wants to access the variable of parent module, how can it access? There is something called as an output block which helps you to get access those variables. So that's why the next topic is the variable scope within the modules and the child module. So there were definitely 4 or 5 questions on this. How can you set the module version? That's very important. So if you are accessing a module from a Terraform module register, then definitely you should have the version of that, right? And how can you basically call that version? You should be familiar with that. One important Another important topic is Terraform workflows. How to write a Terraform configuration, how to write a Terraform code, uh, Terraform init, what is the rule of Terraform init? So I have written a Terraform code. Can I directly run a Terraform plan, Terraform apply? What will happen? Whether it will succeed, whether it will fail? The answer to that is a thumb rule. Terraform init should be always called if there is a change in Terraform configuration or a code, right? Because that's where it basically initializes your working directory or a current directory. It will call all the necessary libraries, all the providers, what you have declared in your Terraform module, and then whether you need to really execute the Terraform plan, but you need to definitely execute the Terraform validate, because Terraform validate makes sure that you have two spaces declared while writing a Terraform code. Is there any syntax error or etc? So that's it. So if you are interested in making sure everything is aligned, properly formatted, then you need to use Terraform FMT, which is Terraform format. So there were around 4 or 5 questions among these different Terraform workflow stages. um, Make sure you are familiar with the state locking. What happens when the state locking fails? What are the options available, right? So there was a definitely question on this. I could not remember any questions on backend block or anything, but make sure you get yourself familiar with it. Then definitely there were certain questions on use of variables and the output blocks, right? So what is the scope of local variable, right? Make sure yourself, how can you access the value of the variable? What is the output block, right? Get yourself familiar with them. Definitely there was some questions on Terraform collections, Terraform functions, whether the slice is a Terraform function or whether it's a Terraform collection. So make yourself familiar with that. How can you declare a list? How can you declare a map is a key value pair, right? Is a split Terraform string, Terraform function or not, right? So uh, get yourself familiar with the how to declare a Terraform, how to declare a variable, whether the type, the default inside the variable block is compulsory or not, or whether it's an optional, right? So there were certain questions on that. So this exam will definitely test you of what theoretically you have understand, as well as whether you have executed what you have learned theoretically in a practical way or not, right? So that's what I'm focusing again and again. Make yourself familiar with this concept by only practicing and making your hands dirty. Then definitely there were some questions on Terraform governance and other stuff, but the I would say from topic A to topic AG, you should definitely be thorough in getting familiar with yourself with all the concepts what I'm talking about right now. The requirements for attaining this exam is pretty simple. If you have book and online, you should have a camera on. There should not be any electronic material available where you are accessing this certification. You can have a bottle of water, right? And those are steps of renewing your certification, which I haven't yet tried out. But if you're just trying to get yourself your certificate renewed and get yourself familiar, say you have done 002, now you want to get familiar with 003, then go ahead and definitely go through the steps. Now, coming to the important one is what materials I have used to prepare myself for this certification. So with that said, let's roll out to that. So, friends, the material which I have used for preparing for this certification is a mixture of Udemy and some free tutorials available on the YouTube. So, the first material which I have referred is from Udemy by Zil Vora, and this guy basically walks through all the necessary things which you should know before you appear for the exam. He has basically couple of lectures on how to set up the labs, how to install the Terraform, how can you basically give the version while installing the Terraform. He has also walked through the types of provisionings, um, and the different topics what we talked about, modules, workspaces. Definitely there were one or two questions about the Terraform workspaces. How can you select the workspace, how can you switch to a new workspace? So he has walked through everything. He has also around 7 practice tests which will basically help you to prepare yourself for the exam. For the exam, and let me tell you, before sitting for the exam, he also has some important pointers which you need to go through as your refreshment before sitting for the exam. And I have definitely gone through his pointers, which has helped me to refresh my concept before sitting for the exam. I have gone through for 1 hour kind of thing, and it really helped me out with brushed up all my concepts. The next Udemy course is by Brian, and it is around 10 hours course. This is also very beneficial course. It walks through all the concepts like what are the benefits of Terraform, what is infrastructure as code, Terraform workflow, Terraform CLI, block types, Terraform modules. Also, this gentleman has the Terraform practice test, which are around 6 practice tests. Each are having 50 to 60 questions, which will help you to prepare for the certification. If you are looking for the free course, then the free code champ has the 7 hour course which will help you to prepare yourself for the certification. The another exciting course by the gentleman called as Rahul Veg, where he has walked through each and every topic of Terraform associate certification needed to clear. So I would highly recommend these 3 courses, these 3 or 4 courses you should definitely go through if you're looking yourself to prepare for the HashiCorp Terraform Associate certification. And don't worry, I'm going to paste these links in my video description. So by the end of this video, I think you have got an idea of how and for whom the Terraform Associate certification is, and what are the important topics you need to focus while preparing for this certification, and as well as the material. If you find this video has really helped you to prepare yourself or get familiar with the Terraform Associate certification, then do not forget to hit the like button and share the video with your friends and colleagues. And at the end of the day, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Your likes and comments motivates me to come up and learn myself for the new technologies and share with you my experience of learning those things. Until then, take care. Bye bye.